Production of Broad and High is funded in part by the Greater Columbus Arts Council, supporting arts, advancing culture, and connecting the community to artists, events, and classes at columbusmakesart.com.
And PNC, committed to Central Ohio, for the achiever in you.
This time on Broad and High. Check out what's on view at the Wexner Center, from the fashions of Todd Oldham to the remarkable lobby installation of Anita Vitek.
I really like to have, to give visitors like a full analog experience.
And a local film festival celebrates the lives and stories of people with different abilities. This and more right now on Broad and High. Hi everyone, welcome back to Broad and High. I'm your host, Kate Quickle. The Wexner Center is currently showcasing the work of designer Todd Oldham. His fashions dominated the runway landscape of the 1990s, when he dressed models from Tyra Banks to Cindy Crawford. Here's more.
So Todd Oldham is a great creative thinker. So during the 90s, he had a 10-year span where he did amazing fashions. This was the moment of grunge and really simple things, and he just went the complete other direction and made things as beautifully detailed and extravagant as you can imagine. There's hours of runway footage scrolling here in the first gallery, and if you watch it, you'll see a lot of the works. A lot of the garments show up in these videos.
The exhibition here consists of clothing that was made from about 1990 to 99, somewhere around that time frame. And since historical versions of it, just putting the way we showed it on the runway, are already out there, I thought it'd be more interesting if we sort of recombined it and made new ensembles that sort of created new narratives. It was fun to sort of throw almost 10 years out on the ground and pick it back up in a new way.
He actually went back through his archive because he'd kept everything. He didn't have sample sales. So he kept everything and he mixed and matched. And so the ensembles you'll see here might have a skirt from 1992 mixed with a top from 1995 with some shoes from 1990. Well, one dress that is actually really fun and a little more out there than some of the other dresses, there's a dress in the last gallery called the Love Ball dress, and it's actually crafted of pipe cleaners. Todd and his team designed it for the first Love Ball, which was an AIDS research fundraiser in New York City, and the whole dress is pipe cleaners. It's a little skimpy, but it's a really fun dress. I mean, you can imagine someone going to a party with it and having a really good time.
I would get you noticed, that's for sure, and probably expose some part of your body that you were used to showing.
I really love the ensemble right when you walk into the third gallery. He calls it the bracelet dress, and it's just this incredibly embellished, very short, beautiful dress, and then he's paired it with what he called his moving blanket jacket, and it's this peach quilted jacket. It's huge, and it kind of wraps the mannequin up, and it's this pairing of fairly simple texture, one color mixed with all of this color and shine and baubles, and it's just a beautiful pairing that I think encapsulates a lot of the show. So the Rhode Island School of Design, it's a fabulous design school in Providence, Rhode Island, and that is where this exhibition originated, at their museum.
I was speaking all about that most of this is from this 10-year period, but there is one anomaly. There's a new dress that we executed last year that was made by over 60 people.
In the process of leading up to this exhibition, he started working with a class of students at RISD.
It took us almost an entire year to make. Over 40 artists made the fabric through silkscreen, and then dozens of people embroidered and stripped the fabric and knitted it. That was truly a labor of love and an extravagance of being present while you're making, because we knew it would never be worn by a human. It would only be on display in a museum, but it was a great effort and really, really fun to do.
So Todd did not just stop at the fashions. Todd did everything. There's accessories, there's shoes, there's earrings, jewelry, necklaces, bracelets. Everything that these models wore was designed, touched by Todd. So here in the first gallery, we have a couple of cases just showing the wide array of things he did. One of the highlights of that is what we call the button case. Todd's factory handmade buttons for everything. We guesstimated about 2,000 buttons in the case, but that's not even a fraction of what they made. So they literally made everything for these outfits.
I never asked permission, I just sort of did stuff. So when my grandmother taught me to sew at 9, I just loved it, so I just kept making, and then I started making dresses for my sister. And
you can really get a sense of the breadth of what he did in the exhibition. It really showcases just such an amazing level of work that went into these beautiful garments, and I hope when people come they take a moment to really look at them because they're just amazing to go up close and really appreciate how much handwork went into each of them. They're amazing.
You can view the extravagant fashions of Todd Oldham through April 15th at the Wexner Center. Visit wexarts.org for details. So we're sticking around the Wexner Center for this next segment too. In the lower lobby, Austrian artist Anita Vitek has installed a monumental site-specific photomontage, and we stopped by to check it out.
I'm working with material that other people discard. It's magazines, books, posters. I would call my working process a kind of a recycling process.
So we're at the Wexner Center today. We have artist Anita Vitek here. She arrived from Austria last week and is installing her first site-specific installation in the United States, clip.
When I'm taking, let's say, like pages out of magazines or books, I cut out the center or the focal point, basically what what was transporting the message.
So she cuts all of that sort of central information out and builds layers. They're photographed and blown up to be really large.
I was trying to think of what I would associate with this space. And then I was thinking of going back to the time when this building was perceived, so in the 80s. So I went into my own archive of paper clippings and I started to look for material that came from this particular time. This dark area you can see here is from a scientific magazine from the 80s, talking about inventions of the future. But I cut the invention out.
Some of the ideas that she's dealt with in the past about photography and space, I thought that those would kind of fit really well and graft in an interesting way onto this building that's so kind of unusual and very distinct, and kind of in terms of both the physical forms and the theories that have informed it. It's sort of like a collage in and of itself. So it was sort of like this collage on collage with her practice that's centered around photomontage.
I really like to have, to give visitors like a full analog experience. It's very temporal, so you can only be there, look at it, try to engage with it, but on a, not before you sort of start looking into your phone and go into the digital sphere again.
The title of Anita's installation is called Clip. I like the idea that it was a really small word for a big installation, but also the idea that clip is a Janus word or a contronym. So clip can mean both to cut, but also to fasten or bring together, clip my hair, clipping paper. It kind of got at some of the central ideas in her practice and the ideas of photomontage, that you're cutting out a photograph and then gluing things together and bringing them together. So I like that it had sort of these different contrary meanings.
I think this is my interest, basically, to have this You can never trust your eye, but you can also never trust the architecture. It's all a question of perception. So this is like what I like.
You can see Anita Vitek's lobby installation at the Wexner Center through April 15th. Learn more about her work by visiting wexarts.org. ReelAbilities. It's a year-long film festival dedicated to promoting awareness and appreciation of the lives and stories of people with different abilities. Aaron Hoppy of VSA Ohio gives us this preview of the stories of triumph that will be screened for free at the Gateway Film Center this year.
Bye.
ReelAbilities is the largest film festival in the country dedicated to promoting awareness and appreciation of the lives, stories, and artistic expressions of people with different disabilities. 1 in 5 people have a disability in America, so there's a pretty good chance that you know someone with a disability. And it's not just things that you can see, like a wheelchair or a walker, but it's hidden disabilities like ADHD, dyslexia, epilepsy.
You really want to go speak in front of my whole class? And you couldn't even speak at Mom's funeral.
So the ReelAbilities Film Festival really touches on all types of themes. We've got themes about love, we've got things with veterans, with prisoners as well. I mean, the themes are really about anything that you might think of in your community, but they're just told through the story of someone with a disability.
I knew that I had a progressive degenerative disease, but on the other hand, I had no reason to think that I wasn't still qualified for spaceflight.
We're all about accessibility, and so this year we wanted to try something different and offer films every other month, always at the Gateway. All of them are free, so you can catch them in March, May, July, September, and November. We've got documentaries, shorts, narratives from all over the world. The Quiet Ones is a film that comes to us out of Ireland and the UK, and it is about a boarding school for students who are deaf, and suddenly a teacher turns up murdered, and they have narrowed it down to 4 students who may or may not have committed this murder. So it's a series of interrogations with these students.
Do you know who did? The more you hide, the worse it looks.
You can't do this! Detective.
We haven't got time for a break. The clock is ticking.
In May, we are showing a film called Nice, The Heart of Madness. It comes to us from Brazil. It's based on a true story, but it's a narrative film, and it is about a psychiatrist who refuses to use electroshock therapy on her patients in their mental health facility, and instead she wants to use art therapy. And it sort of turns the world upside down when an art collector sees their artwork and really sees the art for the value that it is, for being able to communicate what's inside, which is something that art does for all of us. It gives us a way to express ourselves that language doesn't always give us.
O meu instrumento é o pincel. O seu é o picador de gelo.
A sua opinião não me interessa. E se essa anarquia não acabar, a senhora será punida. E, por favor, mantenha essa porta fechada.
In July, we're showing a film called Sanctuary, which is about 2 young adults who have disabilities, but they fall in love. And they just want to be together, and so they do the things that we all do as young people who are in love, but their families are trying to keep them apart, and a lot of us have experienced that for one reason or another, whether it's Romeo and Juliet or Larry and Sophie in this film. And so these films are just showing conversations and discussions and stories that we all really can connect with.
You can't have sex with Sophie. Why not? It's illegal. For people like you, you're supposed to be married.
Are you married?
No.
Are you allowed to have sex?
Look, it's different it's just different.
That's a stupid law.
We want to change your perception of disability. We want to inspire acts of inclusion for you as an individual and for our communities as a whole. And over the years, we've really seen that. And we really hope that when you leave these films, that you think about disability in a different way, that you think about it in a positive way, that you don't necessarily think about it as a disability, just a different ability.
Maybe if we stay here, Larry and Sophie and Tom may come in.
Okay, let's wait here for a bit.
Good idea. And 2 pints for him too.
Yeah, 2 points for me too. 2 points of what?
Check out the lineup of films playing at Gateway on March 14th and visit vsao.org to see the films coming to Columbus throughout the rest of the year. February marks the anniversary of a beloved Ohio State tradition. Since 1915, the chimes have been part of university life, housed in a unique and historic building on campus. WOSU's Tom Ryland has this profile on the chimes of Orton Hall.
Every quarter hour, the Ohio State University chimes ring strong and true from the bell tower at Orton Hall. Though students and faculty walking the oval may take it for granted, there is much more to this tradition than meets the ear. One of the most distinctive and oldest buildings on campus, Orton Hall was built in 1893 in honor of the first president of Ohio State, who also served as the state's geologist. The exterior of the building represents the geological history of Ohio. Look closely, and you can see the layers of 40 types of stone as they would appear in the bedrock of the state. Surrounding the bell tower, flying reptiles and dinosaurs. 24 prehistoric animals hand-carved from red sandstone. The theme continues throughout the building, which houses the Geology Library and Geological Museum. But for most, Orton Hall represents the home of the university chimes.
So getting to the bell tower and then up to the bells is a very interesting journey. You actually walk through what looks very much like a building attic, and you see pieces of the HVAC system, and you hear large fans running. And then you come to a very quaint, not a very tall door, maybe looks like a door that might take you to the home of a dwarf or a gnome. You come into the round bell tower. From that main floor, there's a very antiquated wooden ladder that you need to climb up to a wooden platform, which invites you to now a smaller old wooden ladder that you climb, and that's when you can actually enter into the bell tower. The climb is not for the weak of heart, and so not every person that would come into the tower chooses to climb all the way to the top, but it is a spectacular view from the bells.
Starting with the class of 1906, it took 7 graduating classes to raise the $7,500 needed to buy a dozen large bells. They were installed and played on campus for the first time in February 1915. During World War I, students stopped to stand at attention as the chimes played once a day in honor of those serving their country. And in 1924, they echoed well beyond campus.
That's when the new university radio station installed microphones here in the bell tower and lines across the oval to the electrical engineering department where it had studios. For the next 2 decades, WSU Radio broadcast live from the university chimes to listeners across the Midwest.
Official chimers have come and gone through the past century, including Dr. Alan McManigal of engineering, who handled the duty for 28 years. Today, one of the lucky few is Kathy Montalto, Associate Professor in the College of Education and Human Ecology.
I personally feel really privileged when I have an opportunity to play that keyboard and hear the chimes ring. It's very exciting that we're coming up on the 100th anniversary of the chimes being a very integral part of the university.
The bells strike automatically on the quarter hour, but for special occasions, an abbreviated keyboard is used to manually ring the bells. It wasn't always that easy. The chimes were once played with cable reaching through the ceiling to connect the bell clappers, and wooden levers that were pushed and pulled.
This is the original keyboard that we would have had. You can see some of the labeling. This is a keyboard in E flat. You can see some of the labeling of the keys. So we have D flat and E flat and F and G flat. You can see the labeling as we go up. And so again, reading the music, you would play each note. As you can imagine, you're not going to be going real fast because you've got to put a lot of pressure on the lever to strike the bell, and then you want to let that bell vibrate for that sound to resonate before you'd strike the next bell to get that sound. So this is the original mechanism. Again, it wasn't for the weak of heart. You had a little bit of a workout when you were playing the music. So is this too quaint? This little candle holder, we have one here and we have one here. So can you imagine being up here and yes, playing by candlelight, delivering that beautiful music from the bell tower?
The Ohio Staters, a service organization on campus, now coordinates all special musical requests and tours of the bell tower. The most common request is a composition by an Ohio State student, first performed by the University Glee Club in 1903.
So Carmen, Ohio, our university alma mater, is taught to our students from day one. As they enter the university, we teach them Carmen, Ohio. We sing it after every football game as a group. And so I do think it has very special meaning. It is common for us to get requests around commencement time for university events that are happening on campus. We have had requests from alumni who wish to propose on the Oval and would like the chimes played concurrent with that proposal. Again, often it's Carmen, Ohio. I think the chimes in the Orton Bell Tower are memorable to every person, every alumni of the university, every student who has ever been enrolled here, and I'm guessing every person that has visited our campus and has heard the chimes play. So they have really special meaning to all of us. I think they bring to mind our allegiance to the university and maybe the most memorable song we will remember being played by the chimes is Carmen, Ohio. And so that brings lots of memories of time and change and friendship at the university.
Well, that is it for this week's episode of Broad and High. Remember, you can always find our stories online at wosu.org and check them out on our WOSU Public Media mobile app. Of course, give us a follow on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We're closing out today's show with a song called Message by the local rockers known as Managed Chaos. FYI, they're going to be playing at Al Rosa Villa on Friday, March 2nd. For everyone here at WOSU, I'm Kate Quickle. Thanks for watching. See you next week.
Time is slowly drifting behind me. I know the box was my only friend. Just one more drink is all I desire. Just give me one more drink to feel. Oh, what's that message in the bottle?
I don't know how many years ago, but a friend asked me this weird question. He just said, "What makes you happy?" And it threw me off because I hadn't given it a second thought. What makes me, what is that, huh? And so I started thinking about it, really gave it a lot of thought, and I started thinking about, the best times of my life were, road trips, where I'm just staring out of the back seat at, rural country, seeing cows pass by, farmhouses, camping, Boy Scouts, trails, just getting lost sometimes. Those really took me to a good place, and it always helps to know your subject. So many people want to just get it right from the jump, and they don't want to fail. They don't want to show anything that's not museum worthy. You have to have patience. Well, okay, I'm going to do this. It's not going to be great, but I'm going to learn from it and apply it to the next piece. And as long as you're still working your craft and having that patience to know that it's going to get better, you'll be just fine.
Catch Columbus at its creative best on Broad and High, Thursday nights at 8 o'clock on WOSU TV.
Production of Broad and High is funded in part by the Greater Columbus Arts Council, supporting arts, advancing culture, and connecting the community to artists, events, and classes at columbusmakesart.com.
And PNC, committed to Central Ohio, for the achiever in you.